What's good, everybody? This is Sailor4 and I'm ready to show you guys another brand new deck profile featuring key cards from the Battle Style set. Now, if you guys are familiar with my channel and my videos, you knew this deck was coming. We are going to do Metal Box today, featuring this Bronzong with a Metal Transfer. Excellent, amazing key card from Battle Styles, and this sort of strategy is possible thanks to it. Now, this card, if you don't know what it does, with Metal Transfer, as often as you like, you can move metal energies attached from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. And it doesn't say basic either, so I'm pretty sure you can move the, what's the code? The coding energy too. You can move special metal energies too. Maybe not all of them, but I think most of them you should be able to still do it. I'm pretty sure that's how the ruling works. But anyway, I'm not going to be using any special energies in this deck, and I'll tell you why. But this is basically what this deck is going to be about. Similar to my Dark Box deck, very similar Trainer Skeleton too. You move, you gather metal energies with the Metal Saucer, and you're able to move them around freely, use various different attackers in attack. And once your Pokemon sustain a little bit of damage, or a lot of damage actually, you move the energies, use the max potion, completely negate all the damage, and then you can put the energies back. Very popular strategy, very old strategy at this point with the max potion, but very effective still. Now, even though this deck is pretty cool, I do have to say that after building it and testing with it, it does have some notable differences with Dark Box using a deck and using something like Weavile GX instead. Since we got to use Pokemon that are evolve, like the Aegislash VMAX, you don't have to, but it's recommended you do so. This card is just too good in this deck. You do take up more space, and that means we have less room for consistency cards. Also, another thing that this deck is really missing compared to Dark Box and other similar decks is that there's no Pokemon to give you that free retreat like Darkrai EX can give that deck. And other similar Pokemon, like with the Fairy decks, we had the Fairy Stadium, Fairy Garden, that sort of thing. And switching is an important part in decks like these. If you can't really switch, sometimes you can't really make the play you want to make. So it's a bit annoying, it's a bit problematic. So it loses a few points due to that. Now, it does have its own perks, however. The benefits we gain from using metal Pokemon, using metal energies. We get to use Zacian V. Now, this card, of course, is very, very broken. Brave Blade and Intrepid Sword, amazing attack and ability. And this does help give this deck a little bit of consistency in the beginning and set it apart from Dark Box. If you don't have this guy though, and if you don't have a supporter, it's going to be really bad. Dark Box, since it's just basic Pokemon, we have more room for balls and consistency cards and more max elixirs. I only have one max elixir in this deck, so it is what it is. But one of the things we can take advantage of is definitely Zacian V. With Brave Blade, this guy's going to get one-hit knockouts, and usually just getting 3 energies, a few energies is enough. So this is why maybe gathering too many energies isn't as big of a deal as in Dark Box, because our Pokemon don't need too many energies. To get the best in Dark Box, you need like 6 energies at least, so you can use Darkrai Umbreon GX's attack, and what have you, maybe if you use Tyranitar. So because of this, we do enough damage and we only need a few energies. It sort of balances out a little bit. But yeah, Zacian is going to get the job done when it comes to those regular Vs, getting those 1-hit KOs, and Intrepid Sword is going to help. Now the big boy in this deck, of course, is going to be Aegislash VMAX and Aegislash V. Another perk this deck has over Dark Box is that since we can use this guy, Aegislash V, with Sonic Edge, we don't have to care at all about wall Pokemon like Decidueye and not Alolan Ninetales, but what's the other dude? Altaria. Altaria has that ability too. So it's great. And this guy, if you get a few prizes, he becomes extremely, extremely powerful. Big 320 VMAX Pokemon. There's not really anything that's going to get an easy 1-hit KO if it's not fire on it. And just Max Hack is an amazing attack. Combos perfectly with The strategy here with that 320 HP, we move the energies with Bronzong, then max potion the damage off, keep attacking, he's unstoppable. So this is why these guys are in here. And then I also have double V for soft wool, just very good regular V Pokemon that's going to give out 2 prizes. Nice Pokemon late game. If your opponent has taken a lot of prizes, you can Revenge Blast. And, works with any energy. It's just beautiful. Give us a little bit of difference with the weakness and the type variety. And then the last Pokemon, well, I guess from the attacker kind anyway, is this Lucario Melmetal GX. Now, another thing, if you know me and you're familiar with this channel, is you'll know that I really like Dialga GX. Well, his GX attack anyway, that can do 150 and then skip your opponent's turn. This deck would be a perfect sort of opportunity to use that guy again. Gather metal energies, and with the metal saucer and conserving the energies, you could pull that guy's GX attack. But the thing is that his HP is kind of unreliable, and a lot of times you're going to be building them up, and people are going to kill him and make sure you don't get that GX attack. This guy is just much simpler to use, and it negates Arceus. It's sort of like an Arceus counter in a way. So I think it's just more effective, more reliable too. With Steel Fist, he can also sort of help us gather energies too that way. So it's great in a sort of metal box deck. We can gather the energies on himself and move it later on with Bronzong. So it's just a lot of synergy with this deck. Full Metal Wall is an easier to use GX attack. So that's why this guy is going to be our opener, hopefully, running 2 of them. And I decided not to use Dialga GX. If you do want to try it out, you can try, but I mean, that guy has a good opening attack too, letting you draw cards. Shred is good to ignore effects, but when you have this guy, you don't really need it. And I mean, if you can pull the GX attack, skip your opponent's turn, it's broken as fuck. But this goes a long way, I think. Sort of combos with the tanking healing in this deck. Anywho. And for the Bronzong, I guess I can't forget to mention this guy. We run 2 of them. I have 3, but I decided to stick with 2. 2 should be good enough. You don't necessarily need it immediately if you play your deck right. And, of course, space is always an issue in these decks. I run this Bronzor with a 3 retreat. It has 70 HP, the best HP, and with the 3 retreat, we can use Heavy Ball and take advantage of that and get this guy. I'm aware there's a Bronzor that lets you evolve instantly if you play second, but if you don't play second and you can't really search the dudes and evolve into the Bronzong, then you just completely wasted his ability. You can't really utilize it. Has less HP too, which I don't like. Just having 50. So I'm just going with this guy, more reliable. And then the last Pokemon is going to be Dedenne GX. Dedenne GX is nice, dump and draw. A way to get us metal energies in the discard pile. Plus, what else was I going to say? Yeah, just synergy with this deck. Discard outlet. Nothing really to it. We can search it too easily with Quick Ball. And that's about it. And if you want to run Cherish Ball, you've got 3 targets with this guy. Anyway, so these are the Pokemon. Now for the trainers, you have your 2 Nest Ball and 1 Quick Ball. I did 1 Nest Ball and 4 Heavy Ball because Heavy Ball searches almost everything. But I decided to do 2 Nest Ball, change it up a little bit, hopefully so that it helps us see this guy, because we need to see this guy. If we don't have a supporter, you need to at least be able to see this guy and draw some cards. Otherwise, you've essentially bricked. Either this guy or maybe the Dedenne to help us draw. So that's why I decided to do double Nest Ball. 3 Heavy Ball is still pretty good. Gonna get us almost any of our dudes. Bronzor, Bronzong, Lucario Melmetal, these guys too, even this guy. Just so many things, and it's just very good instead of just wasting space using Evolution and Sense, only searching a bunch of Pokemon. Heavy Ball searches our basics too. Which is why I really wanted to max it out, but I guess Nest Ball, if you're getting basics in the beginning, it's good too, of course. So that's the trainers. Quick Ball, discard outlet, and just get any basic Pokemon into the hand. A way to get to Dene and use his ability. So that's it. Okay. Got the Metal Saucers, of course, to get that energy acceleration from the Disco Paw. Really what makes this deck be a thing. Otherwise, having the ability to move energies around if you can't gather energies is useless. I got one, a Max Elixir 2. In the Dark Box deck that I use, I run 3 of this card. And a bigger Darkness Energy count, but you can't really afford it in this deck. We needed to cut up a few things so that there's space for the Aegislash VMAXs. It's sad, but that's the reality. So I had to do what I had to do. Yeah. What else is there in here that normally wouldn't be in the dark box? Oh, right, switching too. We need more switching cards. So another thing I had to make space for. But it is what it is. We don't need too many energies. Usually if you can get like 3 or 4 and conserve them, you should be good. Plus, if you're lucky, you can get an energy with this guy too when you're using Turbid Sword. So, it has its differences with Dark Box, but it's not completely outclassed. Okay. Double Max Potion, of course, you gotta have it. I would run more if I could, but even in Dark Box, you can't really afford the space to run too many of these. So you just time them right and make sure you don't discard them if you can, and it should be good enough. Okay. And then we got Rescue Stretcher, good recovery card. Mail for additional consistency and expanded. You gotta have your Via Seekers too. I usually run 2 in these decks. Help us get boss's orders again if we need to, or N. And Megaphone and Field Blower. You can do 2 Field Blower if you like, but I do 1 and 1. Punish the players that want to play 3 or more tools at once. And that's basically it. And we got 1, where is it? Regular Switch too, and a Float Stone. I thought about doing double switch, but you know what? I decided, hey, we're running tools anyway, so might as well run the Float Stone too. If opponent doesn't discard it, I can switch multiple times, promote Bronzong with a Float Stone, do these sorts of plays. It is a bit annoying, the switching in this deck, but you gotta live with it. And then we got the Metal Frying Pan. Now in Expanded, the nice thing we get is this. Eliminate our weakness and also block 30 damage. Perfect for big metal Pokemon. And it's compatible with everybody. If I would run something like the Fury Belt, it wouldn't be compatible with this guy. And it doesn't really make much difference. This is the best tool to run in this deck, in my opinion. Like no Giant Charm, no whatever. Just eliminate your weakness and block 30 damage. It's the best. Okay. And for the stadiums, I run the... where are they? We do 1 and 1. I do 1 Steel Shelter to be immune to special conditions. And 1 Altar of the Sun. Eliminate our fire weakness, basically. Most of these guys are weak to fire. Well, all of them, really. So that's going to get rid of that. And this is important because fire is popular, and what it's going to destroy your strategy is immediately is a fire Pokemon getting a 1-hit KO on your guys. So this is what's going to help us make that matchup a bit more even. It's for this reason that I don't run any coding energies, or whatever the name is, the special metal energy that eliminates your weakness. It's a good card, of course, and in Standard you should use it. But if you use it like in this sort of deck, in Expanded, when you have these other options, it means that if you have to dump them, or if you dumped a few energies, you can't really get them with Metal Saucer. This guy, if he reveals them, you can't attach them. I'm pretty sure this is how it goes. I think maybe you can attach them with this guy. I don't remember what the ruling is, but either way, they're not compatible with Metal Saucer. I guess maybe if you want to tech 1 or 2, then maybe one. I guess I could sacrifice one and put one in, but I just decided to just go all basics in this case, and that's the reason. But you can mix it up, I guess, if you want to. I've played matches and used this deck like this, so I'm going to show it to you guys like this. But yeah, that's the reason. Metal Frying Pan and the Ultra of the Sun are going to help us with weakness. And all that's left, I believe, are the supporters. I don't think I forgot anything else. Am I right? Right. So supporters, boss's orders when you're the game, chorus since this is expanded, and triple Cynthia for reliable, draw 6, don't interfere with your opponent's hand, Professor Juniper 2, and Skyla. And that's basically it. Very similar to Dark Box once again. Juniper is good, discard outlet of course, and draw 7, but we don't want to overuse it and discard our pieces like Bronzong and Aegislash VMAX. So this is why 2, a bit of a moderate number. Everything else is kind of standard, I guess, for my lists anyway, if you watched any of my other deck profiles. And this is basically the deck. It has more power than Dark Box, but less consistency, I guess, unless you open with this guy, then it's kind of a different dynamic. But you do use evolved Pokemon too. This guy can kill Decider Eye and Altaria, which the Dark Box deck can't really do. So you gotta run like regular dudes as tech attackers. So that's another thing this has over that deck. But we don't have Darkrai X. And we can't run as many Max Elixirs. We don't have the space for that. You would have to sacrifice other cards. But this is basically the deck, guys. It will brick. It's not really perfect. I don't think my list is perfect by any means. But I'm testing with it like this. I sort of model it after the Dark Box deck that I've had enough success with, enough wins with that deck, and just usually works well. And this is the list. I'm going to show you guys matches as I always do. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you on the next one. Saber Final 4. What's up?